Good morning, everybody. It's Russell Nolte, publisher of Wannabe Press and host of the Business of Art podcast. And I am coming to you to talk about giveaways. I'm a little bit early today. I wanted to make sure people had a chance to get on before we started. So if you're on right now, just chill out. You can make fun of the fact that I shaved my face. You can just BS, but we're going to start in about 5 minutes once we get some more people on the feed. And yeah, that's how it's going to go. You know what I'm saying? Good morning. So we're just waiting for a couple of minutes until on the feed. I said this was going to start at 9:30. So I just want to give people a couple more minutes to get everything situated and get on here to make sure that they don't miss anything. If you are on the feed now, you can always say hi, hey. I'm testing this out this week because you guys have told me that you would prefer a deep dive into a topic than for me to do the Q&A. I know I usually do this at 8:30, but I have a big, long list of things that I want to discuss, and that took me a little bit longer. Plus, I'll be honest, this morning I had the final pages for my next graphic novel come in, the lettered pages, and so it took me a little longer than I thought to get all of that done and get all of that and get the notes back to the artist so that he could make some corrections. So that I can start sending it off to beta readers. And I'm so excited about this, y'all. I had, this is my third graphic novel with another artist, plus the book that I did myself. So I've done now 4 graphic novels plus the anthology. And I'm just like over the moon because this kind of finalizes the Monster Hunter trilogy. And it establishes one of the most fun gods in the entire pantheon of gods in the Shittiverse, which is the universe that I created. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, but I have many show and tell items to discuss, and we are going to discuss giveaways today. I'm going to give it everything that I got. I'm going to give you all the good, everything that I've learned up until this moment. And we're going to discuss online, in person, how to set it up, how to design something differently in person or online. So we're going to talk about like the general aesthetics of giving something away and what you should think about when you're giving it away. Just give me a couple more minutes. I want to make sure everybody who wants to come on, who I told 9:30 to, has a chance to come on, but you are in the right place. If you want to learn about giveaways, we're going to start in about a minute. I hope I got all of the things. I don't want to have to like run up and run off to get more stuff. I hope I have enough I hope I have enough. I just realized I don't. I need one more thing. I'll be right back. All right. So let's get started. I'm Russell Nolte. I'm the publisher of Wannabe Press, host of the Business of Art podcast, and I'm here to talk to you about giveaways today and basically everything that I've learned about giveaways in the past couple of weeks, probably the past month, as I've been studying it extensively, running giveaways both online and at live shows, having a lot of success and a lot of failure. So I hope you are here to talk about giveaways because I have no idea how long this is going to be. But it's going to be packed with information. All right. So how are you guys doing today? Doing all right? All right. So I thought what I would do is start with talking about online and then focus on in-person after that. And while I'm doing online, there's so much more to discuss online. And while I do the online portion, I'm going to also talk about kind of what makes a good giveaway. So I want to start first with sort of how to determine a good giveaway. So most people, when they think about giveaways, they think about giving away their own stuff. So for instance, this is one of my books, probably my favorite, most popular novel, My Father Didn't Kill Himself. It's a mystery novel told all in blog posts. So I have done giveaways where I've given this book away. And the main problem with that is nobody knows what this book is. Nobody wants it. The key to a giveaway is you have to give away something that people want. So online, you might see people like Stephen King or J. Hus or a lot of more successful people are giving away their own books. But that's not always a great idea, especially if nobody knows who you are. So, considering you guys are here, I'm gonna assume you guys are you guys are not Stephen King. You guys are not world-renowned authors. You guys may have a small fan base, but not an enormous one. And so giving away your own books is not a great idea because the key to a giveaway is virality. So virality is a lot of people sharing, a lot of people entering, and a lot of people wanting the thing that you're giving away. Now, that being said, the other mistake that people make is giving away gift cards. Or giving away only gift cards or cash or something that is so generic that everybody enters, and most of the people that enter don't care about what you're trying to sell. So for our purposes here, I'm going to assume that we're all trying to sell books. Considering you're on this group, I think that's a pretty good assumption. And if you're trying to sell books, people that only like movies or don't read books or hate books or even even like comic books or magazines or some other kind of medium are not going to be really good people to target. So giving away something like an iPad or an iPhone or a MacBook Air, yeah, you're going to get a lot of people to enter that giveaway, a ton of people to enter that giveaway. But those are going to be general people across the entire pantheon who may or may not like your thing. You'll get some people that like what you're trying to sell, but you're not going to get people that are very likely to buy what you want them to buy. So the two mistakes that most people make are either they're giving their own book that nobody knows, and so there's no chance of virality there because nobody would know this book. Or two, they're giving away something so general that a lot of people will enter, but they won't be very focused. So the key is to find something that your audience really wants and is also incredibly popular. So I have a couple of examples here. So for instance, so Elmore Leonard is one of the most famous mystery authors, I guess, like thriller mystery authors. So possibly this is not an amazing example. This is just the best example I could find from my library. If I was making a mystery book, I might give away an Elmore Leonard book and then assume people will also like my mystery novel. Or All the Bright Places was a very popular YA book about like depression and loss and suicide last year. Also kind of snarky, kind of in the vein of my book. So if I wanted to entice YA readers, I might substitute this book for my book and say, well, if you like this book, if you want this book, then you probably have a good chance of liking my book as well. Does that make sense? Am I making sense in that small example? So that is what you're trying to do. Now, you're not going to do very well giving away one book unless it's a limited edition or it's a massive. Or if there's something incredible for that singular book. Like if it's a first edition book, you might get some success. Okay, so the next part of this is like what you give away. Like what is the size of your giveaway? So you want to give away something that is like your book so that you can drag people in, but is also much more popular than your book so that people who are in your category are willing to exchange their email for a chance to win it. Because that's what you're trying to do. I mean, think about the lottery. You know, when the lottery is $60 million, a lot of people don't enter. But when the lottery gets up to $500 million, you get a lot more entries because people are now willing to exchange their money for a chance to win. It makes sense to them. So the bigger or more popular your giveaway is, the more likely someone is to sign up for it, the more likely someone will want it and will go to all of the things, will go to all of the pieces to make sure that they win or have a better chance of winning. We'll talk about the virality aspect in a second, but you need to determine the size of the giveaway. And this is the difference between an in-person giveaway and an online giveaway. So for an in-person giveaway, let's just say you're giving away comics. If you're an in-person, you might only have to give away this amount of comics, 10 comics, or even less in order to get people interested in what you're doing. You know, you might have to give away, what is this, 10 comics? On it as an in-person giveaway. This is pretty good. It's pretty good for a stack of comics. However, online, people are looking for a lot more. So online, you would probably have to give this massive stack of comics away to compete online. So look at the difference, and I'm going to include this in there. So the difference between an in-person giveaway is an in-person giveaway, you can use a few, but in order to get people to do your comic, to sign up for your giveaway online, you need just a lot more. I mean, look at all of these comics. There's maybe 50 comics in this stack, and that might not even be enough. So you just need to make sure you have a whole lot more that you're offering when it's online compared to in person. Oops. Also, obviously, I just pulled a stack of comics from my bins, but like you would want to make other comics as well. So, you know, things that have been popular, maybe the Civil War, maybe House of M, but things that are very popular comics that people will want, especially if you can pull some keys from the 80s and 90s. But again, that makes it more expensive. The point is, you need. When I did my giveaway, I only got 6 books. Now, 6 books is a great giveaway in person. Online, it does not even move the needle. Most people are giving away 20 to 30 on books in a giveaway in order to like move the needle and move people. So you're looking at the difference between 5 or 6, which is good in person, and like 20 to 30. So that's 4 to 5 times more, maybe even 6 times more books to move the needle online than in person. In fact, I saw a giveaway the other day, which was 150. Think about that, 150 paperbacks. I mean, that's crazy. It's a crazy amount of books. Now, I have no idea the quality of those books or if they bought them new, but even if they didn't, you're looking at like $100, $150 just to get that amount of, just to get that interest and move the needle. So talk a little bit about how to determine a good. Now there is a caveat to this. If you have, let's say, a signed first edition Elmore Leonard novel and you were doing a giveaway of it, because of the rarity and scarcity of that book, you can get away with much less in your giveaway. You may be able to give as a signed first edition of the book. Now, a signed first edition of your book is not going to sell as well, but one of the things that you want to make sure that you have that can determine whether you need a mass of books or just a few books is the scarcity of those books. The more scarcity you have built in to your books or to your giveaway, the less you need of them, because the more valuable that giveaway is. Now, I have all these toys on my table. So, like, if I were to give away this toy, but I had a fantasy novel, this would be a very bad giveaway. Even though this is scarce, I think this is one of the scarce ones. Even though this is like a first edition scarce toy, it's not going to attract people that necessarily want my books. So again, you need to make sure you're determining what your giveaway is going to be based on who the person you want to enter that giveaway is. Now, I know there's a lot of caveats here, but here's another one. If you narrow your audience too much, you're not going to get a big enough giveaway. So, if, for instance, you do a book marketing giveaway, which is what we did, I'm narrowing the audience from people that just like books to people that want to learn how to make better books. This isn't even people that want to learn how to write better. These are people that want to learn how to market better. So that is a very, very, very narrow niche. And so it is important to make sure that you're honing your audience well, but it is equally important to make sure that you're not narrowing it too much, because even if you get your book and your thing in front of thousands of people, you're not going to get thousands of people to sign up because your audience is too narrow. So you want to make sure that it's not so broad that you're offering just a $500 gift card, because that's going to get a ton of people to sign up, but not necessarily the right people to sign up. And then you want to make sure it's not so narrow that you're cutting off people in your audience that may like it or may buy your book, but they're just not interested in that giveaway. So you have to play this sort of card where you're really doing a broad appeal to a lot of people, which is one reason why doing a lot more books is helpful. Because, like, let's say you did the whole Harry Potter series and the whole Hunger Games series and the whole Divergent series. Well, you're going to get people that like Harry Potter, like Divergent, and like Hunger Games. You're going to get some cross-pollination from multiple, and you're going to get all of those people kind of like YA books. If you do like Divergent, if you do just a dystopian YA sci-fi books, then you're going to get people that like all of those kind of books. And if you're writing a YA dystopian novel, you're going to also, there's a good chance that they will also like your books. You see how that works? You see how that's different than making something too broad or too narrow. I had the big mistake of making things way too narrow when I did my last giveaway. I will make sure to make things wide next time. So let's talk a little bit about how we talked about scarcity, exchange money and things, and size of crowd. We talked about a lot of those things. If you have other questions that I'm not answering, please ask them in the comments. But I'm just going to make an assumption that I'm on track. So how do you determine what a good giveaway is for your crowd? Well, the good news for books is there's all sorts of bestseller lists. There's New York Times bestseller lists, there's USA Today bestseller lists, and there's Amazon bestseller lists. And you can use all of those bestseller lists to your advantage, because those bestseller lists are going to tell you what the most popular books are in any genre at any time. I mean, usually you can also tap into the zeitgeist of like, hey, there was a Hunger Games movie. It's probably pretty popular. Hey, there's a Harry Potter movie. That's probably pretty popular. Hey, there's a Divergent movie. That's probably pretty popular. And others. But if you don't want to go just with things that have been movies, then you can go to all of these lists. You can go to the Amazon Top 100. You can go to the New York Times bestseller list, Wall Street Journal, and USA Today. You can look back all of months, years, and see what the most popular books are. You can do a Google search for what the most popular dystopian YA books are, or the most popular fantasy comics of all time are. And then that's what you're going to build your bundle around. Maybe it's Sandman. Maybe it's the Buffy comics. Maybe it's maybe it's Saga. But whatever it is, you're going to know that they're the most popular. Maybe it's The Walking Dead, and you're going to build your giveaway around the most popular books in that genre. Does that make sense? That's because you want to have more than one book or a bunch of different books, because a Walking Dead fan might not be a Saga fan, but you might get some Walking Dead and some Saga fans who are interested in entering that giveaway. Now, the thing is that most of the time, the Saga fans and the Walking Dead fans might have the first trade of the first trade of Walking Dead and of Saga, which is why if you buy like the hardcover of Saga or the omnibus of The Walking Dead, it will be more interesting to them because there's more things that they haven't seen. Now you're going to get people that have never read The Walking Dead who are entering, and people who read The Walking Dead religiously who are entering, because you now have a hardcover edition. You now have the omnibus edition. Maybe you can get it signed by Robert Kirkman or something, and that makes it more appealing to people who are entering your giveaway. Does that make sense? I want to make sure that I'm not losing anybody here, because it's really, really important when you're designing before we ever get to online or in person, designing your giveaway is essential to having success. You need to make sure that it is aimed at your audience, that you are targeting it at the right people, that you're making it broad enough that the most amount of people in your category are going to want it, but not too broad that people that aren't outside of your category are going to want it. So you don't want a bunch of people who just like the Divergent movie to enter your giveaway for the Divergent books necessarily. Now, I want to also talk about money versus things. So giving away just straight money or gift cards versus giving away gift cards and books, or books only, or giving away some combination of books and gift cards. Gift cards are great because they have a wider range of appeal. However, I wouldn't recommend doing just a gift card, because a $500 gift card is going to get a lot of entries, but they're going to get a lot of entries of people who may or may not want to buy books. So you spend $500 on a gift card or $100 on a gift card. You spend another $100 on ads. Then you spend 2 weeks doing the promo. You get 2,000 people to sign up, and then you send an email about your books. Boom. 1,000 people unsign up immediately, and then nobody opens your email after that. That's horrible. It is great for the giveaway, but horrible for the your mailing list, which is what it really is about. It's better to get 500 people on that giveaway, all of them who really like books. So I recommend, so one thing you can do though is, like, let's say you have this stack of comics you're going to give away, and you want to add a $50 gift card, because even if people don't like those comics, everybody can use a gift card. And then you're going to focus on people that like comics. So you know that the people that are going to sign up for your giveaway are mostly going to like comics. And if they don't like the comics you have specifically sent them, they will sign up for the $50 gift card so they can buy other comics. So combining like a gift card with books, maybe a gift card with less books, is very effective, just to make sure that you're not missing anybody in your sweep, because you're not going to be able to find everybody. Maybe you get a first edition Saga and a first edition Walking Dead, and somebody doesn't like either of those books, but they could use a $50 gift card because they want to buy the omnibus of Sandman. So you get the people who want to enter for the gift card, but they are also in the right category for you. Does that make sense? It's all about getting the broadest sense of your category. Do not be like me. I did this completely wrong. I had too narrow a category, and I didn't have stuff that everybody wanted in that category. So I could have benefited from getting a $50 gift card and a little bit broader scope, so that more people would enter. Unlike when I did this in person, where I went to people who were exhibiting at that show, who I knew were good sellers at that show, and then I found things that they liked, that the people at that show liked. I said, "What is your best seller at the show?" And they would all tell me what their best seller is, and I would buy it. And shockingly, that led to way more signups. So when I went at a show and bought things that I knew were popular at that show and then did a giveaway for them, I was getting 150 signups a day instead of 150 signups over a 2-week period. So I was still getting people that liked the stuff that I was selling, but it was the most popular stuff in that category, and I made sure to have a wide range of stuff. So I had like a print, and then an object, it was like a wooden stake, and I had a book, and I had like a purse, all things that people I knew would like in the category of what I was in the category of like horror, which are where I ran those 2 giveaways, and then I was able to attract people, and some people liked the print, and some people liked the purse, and some people liked the stake. But I was able to get them all because they all had interests in horror, and then I was able to bring them over and talk to them about my book, which is one thing you can do in person, which you can't really do online, which is if somebody in person, if somebody is interested in a giveaway, you can bring them over and talk to them about the books. And then you can at least get them to acknowledge that you make books, even though this giveaway is a bunch of different things. So, all right. We talked about the key to all of this is virality. You want online, you want people to tell other people about it. You want one person to tell 3, those 3 people to tell 9, those 9 people to tell 27, and you want to get splinter out that way. And you're going to use your mailing list at the beginning for this purpose. You want to use your mailing list as sort of a catalyst, so that those people enter, and then they tell other people. And how they do this is, I want to now talk about how to actually execute this online. All right. I'm now making an assumption that you know about the size of the giveaway, the type of giveaway you're going to run, the crowd you're focusing on, that you're not going to get money, the difference between money and giving away things, and scarcity. And that you need scarcity in the objects or volume, and some combination of those things. And now let's talk about specifically how to get this done. So when you want to get this done, the first thing you have to do is find somewhere to host the giveaway. There are three main options: King Sumo, Rafflecopter, and Gleam. I personally used King Sumo because it was a $200 one-time investment. And then I had it forever. It also was the only one that, for cheap, allowed me to have a virality. And virality in this case was, if you sign up and then you share your link with other people and they sign up, you get 5 entries. So you get 1 entry, and then if somebody else signs up from your link, you get 5 entries, an extra 5 entries, they get 1. And it works on like that, and on and on and on and on and on. If you get 20 people to sign up from your link, you get 100 entries to their 20. So you just keep making more and more and more entries. Also, if you signed up for if you subscribed to our YouTube channel, you got 3 entries. So if you did both of those things, if you shared it and someone else came on and you signed up and you subscribed to us on YouTube, boom, you got 8 entries for the price of 1. Sorry, 9 entries for the price of 1, because you still got that first one, then another 3, then another 5. So that's 9 total entries. And if more people are if more and more and more and more and more people sign up, it's just going to be better for you. So you are incentivized for sharing a lot of times. And the more you want that package, the more you will share, which is why it is so important to make something that people really want. I mean, again, this is a bad example, but like a MacBook Air, people really, really, really want. So they are going to sign up and try and get more people to sign up so that they can have better chances to win this MacBook Air. Now, that's a little bit out of my price range and a little bit out of most people's price range, but that's what I'm talking about with, like, you want the virality. You need somewhere that has virality like that. So when you pick a site, you want a site that has virality like that, but it's not just going to work on its own. You have to also make something that people really, really want, so that they keep sharing it over and over and over again. Does that make sense? So your choices are King Sumo. King Sumo is pretty simple. It is a WordPress exclusive, so you have to have WordPress to use it, but it's a very simple install if you have a WordPress site. It's $200 to download. You get 30 days trial, so I would recommend download it, pay for it, download it, run a giveaway with it, and then see if you like it. Your other 2 options are Rafflecopter and Gleam. Now, they both work pretty much the same. They have a lot more options. So with King Sumo, you don't get a choice. You only can do YouTube and share. With Rafflecopter, you get a lot more choices, a ton more choices. You can get them to sign up for, like, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest. You can get them to subscribe to your blog, all sorts of stuff. You have options to get all sorts of upgrades, which you don't get on the simple plan. So the basic plan for Rafflecopter is $13. You don't get virality. You don't get that refer a friend entry option. So if you want the refer a friend you have to pay $84 a month, not one time, 84 a month. So every time you run the giveaway, you got to pay $84 every month in order to get the virality. Now you do, if you're trying to like grow your email, grow your Facebook or Twitter or some other list, this might be right for you. The basic is $13 a month. And King Sumo is not great for that. It's great for growing an email list and for virality. Now, Gleam has a free option. That free option does have some viral entry types. It says, but you don't get all of the user data. You only get the winner's data. So in order to get any data at all that's useful, so you're going to run this, you want to get all 100 or 200 or 1,000 or 2,000 names, you have to upgrade to the Pro plan. And the Pro plan is $39 a month or $390 a year. Now, if you sign up for that, you get the emails. Some viral options, it says, but if you really want advanced viral share, you need to sign up at $149 a month or $1,500 a year. So this is a little bit confusing. I have not used the free version of Gleam. I might try Gleam the next time that I run a promo and maybe do like $39 for one and see the viral entry types that you get. I'm assuming it's something about signing up for that's like sharing or something like that. But I did not see it easily delineated when I looked at Gleam before. So I didn't. I chose King Sumo because I have WordPress and I was happy with the pay. I think it's $197 one time and you get it forever. Gleam and Rafflecopter, I wanted the virality, so I ended up not doing that. I ended up not doing either of those. I think potentially Gleam might be an okay option at $39 a month, but I would have to research it. Rafflecopter, really, I would only use Rafflecopter if I wanted to grow something that wasn't a viral campaign. So, all right. So now you have your area. You have your King Sumo, Rafflecopter, Gleam. You have where you're going to host it. Now you need a couple of images that are really compelling of what the package is going to be, so you can show it to people. Now, one thing is I've run giveaways without any of these before, and it's just a lot easier to have them. You can run them on your own site, and you have to do your own. You have to make sure to have language. There's a lot of language you need when you run a giveaway, so there's a lot of legalese that you need when you have to run a giveaway that King Sumo, Rafflecopter, and Gleam automatically do for you. You can't also really do viral sharing or anything except for signing up for the giveaway. So you really want to, if you want to do like, hey, get 5 free shares if you do this, or 3 free shares if you do that, you are going to want to use one of these 3 services, or one you might find yourself, because that is the only way you can do that. If you're signing up at a show, you really are only going to get a 1-to-1. If you sign up, you get 1 entry. All right. So now everything is signed up. All 3 of these seemed pretty easy. King Sumo was very, very couple of pictures, some text that took me about 5 minutes to set up my first giveaway. And then you're going to want to plan on something like Buffer to share the shit out of it all of the time. Every time you share it, a couple of people should sign up for the giveaway. So you want to share it as much as possible. Even if they are Twitter followers, you want them on your email list. Email is way better than Twitter. So you want people to sign up for your for your email list, for your campaign, and then hopefully they will sign up and they will share it, and it will spiral like that. You just need a couple of people to really start the spiral going that have big audiences. I did not share enough on Twitter and Facebook during my campaign, mostly because I just couldn't deal with doing it for 2 weeks. It was a lot of effort for me. But if I do it again, I might run another one again this month. I will for sure have a bigger have a bigger cadre of stuff that I'm offering online, and be sharing it way more, just way more all the time, like every 2 hours. And you can set that to and you can set that on something like keep going again and again and again, and keep like do like 20 or 30 different kinds of tweets, and then just have them kind of like repeat and recycle. Or you can get something like Tweet Jukebox or Meet Edgar, and like they can even like pull something out of like a box really easily for you. It'll take you a couple hours to set up the first, not on Facebook or anywhere else, but at least on Twitter. Actually, I don't know. Maybe Meet Edgar does it on Facebook and other platforms too. I'm not sure. Anyway. All right. Then once you have that set up, you want to go to you want to put it on a bunch of giveaway sites. Now, I found this. I'm put it in the comments. woorize.com/promote-giveaway-free, and that had like a list of 20 sites that you can add your giveaway to, which again helps virality. This is going to be a lot of work. It's as much work as running a campaign almost. I would probably do it for 5 days, not 2 weeks again, probably for 5. Start on a Monday, end on a Friday, something like that. Start on a Wednesday and end on a Tuesday, something like that. But like doing this for 2 weeks was just a lot. And then once you have it on the mailing list sites and you have your social media set up, you want to send it to your mailing list. Now, your mailing list is going to have the highest conversion. You want all of your mailing list to sign up for this giveaway, because if you have a bunch of people sign up, they are all going to share it. And then they're going to share it with their friends, and their friends are the most likely people who will like things that they like. And then they will sign up and they will share it with their friends. And again, it will matriculate like that, hopefully, if it works out properly. Now, a lot of people say in order to get a really good giveaway, you need an email list of 5,000 or more. If you have less, I would just do a smaller giveaway or expect less. But I would still do it, because you really need, I mean, it was a great way to get a bunch more people on our mailing list for a pretty reasonable cost. I'm probably, we ran about $50 in ads. We ran, what else did we ran? We had to buy the $200 King Sumo, which we'll never have to do again, and then about $50 to $80 on books. So it wasn't that big an investment for us to have just a massive, to be able to get 180 people on our mailing list. Most of that was the cost of King Sumo. And it was a great learning experience for me to do again. I'm already thinking about how I can do it better next time, which is what I'm kind of thinking about that as I'm doing this. I'm like getting ideas for myself as I'm speaking it out loud. So send it to your mailing list first, then social media, enter it into giveaway sites as quickly as possible, and then make sure to keep hammering it on social media throughout the course of the giveaway. You want people to sign up. People need to sign up to have virality. Again, I recommend King Sumo above Raffle, Copper, and Gleam, just because it has that viral option already built in. All right, so your expectations should really be built around what you're giving away, how big your giveaway is, and how hard you're pushing. So I know a lot of people get 1,000 to 2,000 people on their new people on their mailing list when they do these giveaways. They're doing massive like $500 plus giveaways. If you're only doing 100 plus or $100 or so, and you don't have something that like everybody will love, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to get 1,000 people. Maybe if you push really hard, but this is all about how much people want what you have and how fast you can get in front of them. Because if you can get it in front of a bunch of people right up front, that's going to spider out. So if it takes you until the last day to get a bunch of people to sign up, you're not going to have as much virality as you do on day one. So just like with any other campaign, you want to get the virality on day one. You want to make sure you're pushing it on day one. You want to do some ads on day one. Just a little bit, like $30, $50 in ads. You want to make sure your campaigns are heavy on day one, first day, so that you can make sure to have the best chance for virality later. Does that make sense? Like all of this virality stuff we're talking about, it needs to happen immediately so that you can have it work for you throughout the campaign, and then you need to keep bumping it up. So keep bumping it up throughout, but the more people you can get right on top, the more people you can get sharing it immediately, the better it will be later. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So the giveaway site, again, woorize.com, promote-giveaway-free. I'm going to put that on, whatever. I'll put it on now. All right. We talked about mailing list size. So this intention is to build your mailing list. Remember, if that's the end intention, you need to work backwards. You might be able to buy an iPad and a MacBook Air and get 10,000 people on your mailing list, but most of those people will not be interested in what you have to offer. So you need to make sure that if your goal is to build your mailing list, so that they end up buying, and the goal of the mailing list is to get them to buy your books, you need to work all the way backwards down here and say, well, what do I want? What can I offer these people so that they really, 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 really want this giveaway so that I can get the most people on my mailing list and the most people buy my book? It's not just about getting the most people on your mailing list, because you could get 50,000 people on your mailing list maybe by offering like a $10,000 setup, like a $10,000, I don't know, something for a new car. But you're not going to get a lot of people to buy your books because they came wanting the car. Does that make sense? So you need to determine the size, the type, the crowd you're focusing on, whether you're going to offer them money, things, or some combination. The scarcer something is, the more likely the less you have to offer. So like I have to offer a bunch of these comics to equal like maybe one like key. If I could get like one key issue that's like a $200 key issue, I may be able to not offer anything else but that one key issue. But if I don't have that key issue, I gotta like offer a bunch of comics to make that to equal that. The same thing if I had like a signed first edition book, I would probably only have to offer that one thing as opposed to like a bunch of books if I didn't have that signed first edition book. So scarcity really matters. Then you need to set up your social media, bang out your mailing list, go to giveaway sites and start and put them on the giveaway sites. Run some ads at the beginning. All of this needs to happen right when the campaign launches because you need that virality to carry you through the rest of the campaign. Does that all make sense? All right. Couple of things. None of this is really different than one more thing that I will say is like you have to determine. You can offer like a little bit less if there are a bunch of winners. So like if you have 20 winners, you might only offer a $25, maybe a $25 gift card instead of a $300 gift card. Because there are 20 winners, people go, okay, I got a better shot of winning that $25. It's not 300, but there's a better shot of winning. So in the psychology that you're playing with, if you have 20 winners, they are more likely to sign up because they have a better shot of winning something, anything, than if you just had one winner who's going to win a new car. It's kind of why people play the Monopoly game at like McDonald's, because there are more there are a lot of chances to win. You're probably not going to win that $1 million, but you could win something. So yeah, I'll play to win something. Play to win something, even if it's not, even if the main massive prize is something huge. So what you might want to do is have one big massive prize and then a bunch of smaller prizes. So like maybe one $300 gift card and like 20 $10 gift cards, Starbucks gift cards, or something like that. But the more things you can have, the more likely, the more, if you have a bunch of things that people can win, people are also likely to buy because psychologically, their chances of winning are better. All right. So when you're in person, this is pretty much the same exact thing, except you're not going to be able to do like King Sumo or Rafflecopter or Gleam. You're going to have to use something like MailChimp Subscribe or even a clipboard, and then make sure that you have their email address so that you can. How I run it, how I've run it in the past, is I say I'm going to pull a name an hour before I'm going to pull it. I say I'm going to pull a name an hour before the show ends. That person's going to have, I'm going to email that person. They're going to have 15 minutes to get here. Otherwise, I'm going to pull another name and I'm going to keep doing it until 5:30. If nobody comes, then pretty much like it's a free fall. It's a free for all. I make sure I do it both days of the show, or 3 days or 5 days of the show, to make sure that the people that are there have a chance to win that day. And I don't have to ship stuff to them. I don't want to ship things to people. So I do basically 5. So basically you have 5 chances to win if you sign up. I use a program called MailChimp Subscribe. I don't even use MailChimp, but I have their 2,000 free just so I can use MailChimp Subscribe. I make sure to keep the cost down, so I try and keep it under $40 a day at a show because I know I'm going to be able to make that back. A couple times I did $80 a show. I still was a day. I was still able to make that back. But just try and keep. What you want to do is you want to go to the vendors who are like you, but more popular, and say what is the most popular thing at your table, and then buy that, assuming it's in the right price range, or try and keep $10 or below. So I try and get $10 or below from 4 tables. That gets it to $80 for a show, for a 2-day show. And then I say, hey. So here I'll show you kind of how my table is. So big sign. Here's, if this is me, these are stacks of books. This is a sign that says win a free thing. Then I have a box that has all the stuff taped to it. And then it's facing usually out. It's facing out towards one side to attract. If I'm on a corner, it'll face towards the corner. Face like out the corner. If I'm at the end, if I'm like in the middle of a row, I'll try and like judge where the biggest traffic is, and then set the sign that way. And then I have like a little thing that says enter here, right there. It works like a charm. People will look at the things on the table and they'll point to one and they'll be like, oh, and then once they point, I say, oh, that's part of our giveaway. It's a free entry. All you have to do is enter to win. And you might win it at 5. Even if you don't win it, you get 5 free comics. So now this is the last thing I want to talk about as we finish up. Following up. Even if somebody doesn't win, they do win. Everybody that signs up for our giveaway gets free comics or free books. Free comics and books. I email it to them. They get all of the EPUBs. They get all the Mobi. They get all the PDF. They get all of the downloads. For free. Even if they don't win. Still win. And this is really important, especially when you follow up, because you can say things like, hey, you didn't win, but here's a bunch of comics for you, or here's a bunch of books. Here's a free book for you. And if you stay on this list for a couple more days, you'll get even more free books. So, I have a lot of segmentation in my list now, but a lot of it is like, if you get into the giveaway list, I say, hey, you didn't win. Tough tits. Here's a comic, or here's a book. Here's the first chapter of a book that I think you will like. And if you stay on this list, I'm gonna send you another email in a couple of days if you don't unsubscribe, and you'll get 5 more books. Does that sound good? And people have not unsubscribed at the level that I thought they were going to unsubscribe, because I sent them a bunch of free things. I'm building up value for them. I'm showing them that I make books. And because I've targeted people that like books, they are staying on my list more than most other lists that I've heard about, because I'm following up and giving them things. And then I'm sending a weekly email out as well. So that is my deep dive into giveaways. We started by talking about the size of the giveaway, how to determine a giveaway, all sorts of great stuff about how to do the giveaway. And then we talked about how to do an online giveaway and then an in-person giveaway. If you guys have any questions, I'll stay on the line for about another minute or so. And then I am going to get out of here. If you like this, please comment and share it. Let me know if you implement any of the tactics. I'm testing this out. You guys